Hello everybody, it's Mindy and I'm here for a little catch up, a little whip and chat. I can't really diamond paint. I tried last night and I'll put that in a crafty vlog. I'll show you what I did in one night. It was pitiful. So I'm going to crochet a little bit because that seems to be the thing I can do, sort of. Not well, not for very long, but you know, I can do it a little bit. Anyhow, we'll talk all about that in my whip and chat here. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on this. Still working on the scarf thing, this bad sheep yarn scarf. So let me say, I'm going to talk about, you know, of course, surgery, arm, things like that. If you don't want to hear all that, then, you know, I'll save it till the end, okay? We'll talk about a few other things first. All right, so I'm going to get started here. I can do about 100 stitches before my arm feels it. So anyhow, I'm going to get started. And let's first of all talk about February. No, I just did that wrong. I just started the whole thing wrong. Sorry. Let's talk about finished object February, because that's what we're doing right now. That's why I got a diamond painting out. I got the gingerbread cottage thing. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But the gingerbread house I was working on in December, I got that out because it has the least to do to finish it. And I thought, okay, maybe I can get this finished in February. If I could get one of them finished, that would probably be the one. So I pulled it out, got it set up on the table and all that stuff, found the drills, got everything organized. Dale actually helped me a little bit, like clamping it down to the table and things like that. And I got a multi-placer ready to go. And I was struggling with the multi-placer. So I was like, okay, let me just single place. I tried to single place with my left hand for a minute. That was a joke. That's not going to work. So I was moving the tray with my left hand. So I would take the tray with my left hand, I would move it over, and I'd pick up a drill. So I didn't have to move my right hand very much. I got a pitiful, pitiful little amount done. Really, really pitiful. Anyhow, maybe I'll show you a picture here. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, so I stopped with that. And then I just went and sat on the couch, and then I got tired, watched some videos, kind of took a little nap. He was watching videos in the office. And that was it. That was it. So anyhow, I see that you guys are posting your pictures of your whips, things that you want to complete, things you've started and you want to get finished in February. So yay. I hope that you all get things done, make some progress. I'm cheering you on. I'm cheering you on. I have goals, okay? So, you know, this is also the month of finished object February for my yarn store. They do an event. I just printed off the bingo card this morning. Now, do I think I'm going to get a bingo? Probably not. Do I think I can complete some squares? Maybe. If I work on this a little bit every day, like right now, like 100, maybe 125 to 150 stitches is what I can do before my arm feels it. If I keep doing this, maybe I can finish this. And I'm thinking, as time goes on, that I'll be able to increase that time a little bit. So that's kind of a goal. There is one square on the bingo card that's like, it's a free space and you get to choose what you want. So I think that might be increase my crochet time from like 10 or 15 minutes to maybe a half an hour. I don't know. And of course, the second I sit down here to record, that dog is going to whine and carry on. They just had dinner. Seriously, why? Why does she whine like this after she's had dinner? I'm taking this opportunity to record because Dale's out plowing the driveway and I thought they'd be quiet for a while. Let me take care of her and I'll be back. All right, I gave him some water. Maybe that'll make her quiet for a little while. Who knows? She'll probably start whining again in a minute. I don't know. Don't know what to do with her. Anyhow, so that might be like one of my squares. Just increase my time, you know. I don't have to like finish an object or anything for that. Just increase my crochet time. Anyhow, I'm watching you guys. I'm trying to go look at the Facebook group and see what you guys are working on. And rah, rah, I will cheer you on. I will cheer you on. Not saying I'm not going to try diamond painting. I will try to do some more diamond painting. But it's, you know, it's going to be a slow go. Let me just say, slow, slow go. So here's the thing that I've noticed, and it's very interesting. You don't realize simple things you do. Like you think crocheting, you're using your hands, you're just moving your hands. No, not true. You feel that all the way up your arm, all the way through your bicep, all the way up into your shoulder. It's actually up here in my shoulder that tells me I've crocheted enough. It starts to kind of hurt. Not pain, but it's just like an ache. And I'm like, wow, okay. Diamond painting, it was like the same thing. It's just this little movement back and forth, but think about it. Do that sometime and just see that your bicep is very affected by that simple movement, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second. Oh, here comes a deer across the way over there. They have been all over the place lately. They're just back and forth over there to the pond and around the pond and in the little brushy area out there. They're just everywhere. Kind of cool to watch, though. It's kind of fun to just sit here in my kitchen and watch them. It's just sitting there, kind of staring this way. I know that they can see me. You know, they have a clear view of me right here, sitting at the window. But kind of cool to watch them. So anyhow, if there was more, I would like flip the camera around and I would show you guys. But there's just the one right now. Maybe some more will come out of the backwoods back there in a minute. If they do, I'll turn the camera around and we'll film them for a second. That one's leaving though. It's going back that way now. Anyhow, so have fun, you guys. Just have fun. Get things done. And I'll be stopping in and checking on you, and I'll let you know how things are going with my diamond painting if I can put any drills down. So all right, so here's the point of the video. That was all I really had to say. We've been running around, went a few places today. I had to go into town. I dropped off my rings at the jewelry store to just get them cleaned, and I wanted an estimate on the one about getting the band fixed because it's getting real thin. Well, I had to go pick those up today, and I had one skein of yarn to pick up at the yarn store. And I wanted to go into, there's like a little marketplace. Cards over there. Otherwise, I'd tell you what it is. Hang on. Let's see. Not that you're going to come and visit, but, oh, it's called Studio Marketplace, okay? Studio Marketplace. And in the front of the building is like craft consignment stuff, or handmade things that people make or package or cook, or all kinds of different things in there. I wanted to stop in since I learned about it, and this was the first opportunity that I had. So ended up being in there for quite a while, just talking with the lady who was working in there. She's a screen printer, and she does a lot of t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff for like the town's like sports teams and stuff. So she sells like Charlotte, you know, apparel. Anyhow, I ended up talking to her for quite a while. First of all, I explained the whole surgery to her, everything they did, because she started asking questions because come to find out she's got a problem with the shoulder. So she was just very curious. I told her the whole story. And then I also talked to her about what they do there, because I did see a few crocheted items. There was a few little plushies. There was some like octopus up in the front window when we came in. I saw some like loaf cats, and I saw a couple of like lovey ducks. Then there was a basket that had some hearts. So there wasn't a lot. But I just was asking her about it, you know. I told her I was always curious because I do some crochet and some diamond painting, and I do craft shows and whatnot. And she told me to just get a hold of the lady that owns the place, because I said, you know, I see there's a lot of plushy stuff here. And that's, I mean, I can do plushy stuff, and I do some, but what I really like to do is other things. Like I really like to make bags, hats. And she goes, oh yeah, in the winter we had those. Oh, we don't have any because we sold out. She's like, those things around your head. I said, like the ear warmers? And she goes, yeah, we could have sold a ton of those, but we ran out. And I was like, I can make those, you know? So she said, talk to the lady, and maybe, you know, I can make some things that she would like to carry. I do it a different way. Instead of me making stuff that I might try to sell, start with the shop and see what they think they could sell, and then I could make. Of course, I told her that right now, you know, it's going to be a while before I'm making a whole lot of stuff. But anyhow, it's definitely something to look into moving forward, right? Like if I could make ear warmers and nice beanies, and they could sell those in the wintertime, and then maybe something else in the summer, maybe do the bags, some of the bucket hats maybe, or bandanas in the summer. Just ask the owner, what do you think will sell? What would, you know, if I made something, what would you recommend? See how it goes. Well, you'll never know unless you try, right? You never know unless you try. So I might give that a go. Anyhow, we spent some time there. Then we went next door, well, 2 doors down, actually, it's the yarn store. And of course, you know, the owner of the yarn shop wanted to know how I was doing, so I talked to her for a while. And Dale played with the puppy, Kingsley. He's an 8-month-old little mini schnauzer. He's super cute. Him and Dale just played and played and played and played and played, and, you know, wore him out a little bit. So that was kind of fun. And then they were getting ready to have, I think they have like a stitch night or something. Some people were coming in to sit in the back and just hang out and stitch. And I knew one of the ladies, so she came and talked to me and gave me a very gentle hug on the left side, you know, asked me how I was doing and stuff. So that was kind of nice. Then I went and picked up my rings and whatnot. Oh my gosh. They did like a deep clean, like not what, like when I take it to the jeweler where I bought it, they'll just put it in the little machine, and this was like a 24-hour like deep clean. I'm telling you what, I don't know if you can tell, but that puppy is beautiful right now. It's like, it is like crystal clear. Because, you know, living in the country, we have hard water and we have all these chemicals and stuff, and they just get on there, and they kind of make the yellow film, and it's really hard to get it off. It's a hard, crusty kind of thing. But whatever they did cleaning it, it's beautiful. I'm super happy with it. I love it. And that was free. They just did that for free, you know, so that was nice. Anyhow, that was our running around. Oh, and then we also went to Walmart. We went to Tractor Supply, you know. We were on the hunt for strawberry bread. You know, the strawberry bread story. Dale found strawberry bread one time recently at Walmart. So he said, well, let's go back to Walmart. That's where I found it. Did they have it? No. And I'm surprised he found it at all, because it's really not the season for the strawberry bread yet. And we couldn't find any. But I did find cranberry, not English muffins, cranberry bagels. There's a cranberry bagel. Oh my gosh. It is so good. So that might be my thing in the winter. I eat cranberry bagels, and in the summer I eat strawberry bread. I don't know. We'll see. So anyhow, that was today. It was a full day, and I feel it. I feel it. I'll just say I feel it. And being in town and walking across the street, you know, the city streets, and that you park on the side of the road and all that stuff, I was a little leery because it's very slushy. It's just big slush and mush. And I made sure that Dale was right there, and I held on to Dale's hand or arm, you know, with my good arm, because I did not want to slip in that stuff. That would have been a nightmare. So yeah, but I'm kind of feeling tired. So let's talk surgery and what happened, because yesterday was my post-op appointment. And I was going to get my stitches out. I knew that. I was really worried about that. I'd never had stitches like that had to be removed. I've never had that happen. And I thought maybe it was going to hurt, and they pull them out. But it really didn't. It was fine. Remember, I had 5 sets of stitches, right? So there was a lot of stitches. But it was fine. The girl was really good. It was great. She said at one point, the last one, she's like, you might feel a little tug on this one. This one's kind of one of the hardest to get out. And I was like, no, it's fine. And it was fine. Anyhow, then I got to see the doctor. Not the doctor who did my surgery, but an associate, right? And he checked everything. He looked at the incisions and all that stuff and had me like take my arm out of the sling and move it a little bit and stuff like that. He's like, okay, everything's looking pretty good, And my main question was, what did you do? What all did you do? And he's like, sure, no problem. We'll talk about that. So here's what happened. If you don't want to hear medical stuff and whatnot, you might not want to listen. It's not going to be graphic or anything, but I can't be too graphic, but okay, my arm's cramping a little. I'm going to stop for a second and just put my elbow down. So first of all, if you're ever curious, just look up a picture of a shoulder. It's very interesting how it all goes together. You got the ball on the socket, and then these tendons, the rotator cuff goes like this way, up over your shoulder and over the joint. That's how it goes. And it's layers. It's lots of layers. And then it also goes, spans across the shoulder this way. So I explained it to the lady at the craft place today. Imagine take a hamburger patty, and if you take this hamburger patty and kind of flatten it out and spread it out and plop it up on your shoulder, that's kind of what those tendons are like. So when they can tear like partway through the thickness and not tear all the way through, or they can tear all the way through. But then they can also tear like into it further. You know what I mean? So they can go this way, back in, or they can go deep. It all depends on how you do your tear, right? And there's like 5 different tendons up in there. 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many there are now. There's several. And it's common. The one that I tore is the common one that tears. So they not only have to sew it back together, but they use something they call those the anchors. I don't know what they call those, but it's like they sew it in a way where instead of it being more cupped like this over your shoulder, it pulls it down, and it pulls it down more flat. Okay. And they're just anchoring it. They're anchors. They anchor it down really good. So they did that because I had the tear on the tendon. All right. That wasn't all they did. That wasn't all they did. Remember, if you've heard me talk about it, I said that the pain started in my bicep. Down my arm is where it hurt the most. For the longest amount of time was down my arm, like on my bicep. Because I tore part of the bicep. I really actually tore part of the bicep. Your bicep comes up and there's 2 parts that come up and attach into your shoulder, the bone there. A long head and a short head. So my long head torn, and so they detached it and they cut off the bad part. All right, they cut off the bad part. And then they pull it to your arm bone, not your shoulder bone, but into your arm bone, and they screw it in there, kind of, I guess. So that's why my bicep hurts right now. I feel like I have a band around my arm, just like squeezing, kind of. That's what it feels like right now. Just like imagine someone has put like a elastic band around you and it's just squeezing your arm. That's kind of what it feels like right now. So they did that. They also, because the bicep itself had torn and stuff, it also frayed, it frayed on the edges or something. So they kind of cleaned that up and cut off some of the fraying and cleaned it up and made it all nice again. So they did that. So they moved my bicep, anchor it in a different place, clean up the fraying, fix the tear. And while they were in there, I mean, why not? Let's just go to the actual shoulder, the actual socket, and let's clean that up too, because, you know, it's kind of worn and got some arthritis, and let's just clean that up too. So they did 4 things in my arm, in my shoulder, in my arm. Yeah, it was a lot more than I thought they were going to do. Definitely a lot more than I thought I was going in for. So it makes sense now why, you know, it will hurt up here, up in the collarbone, because think about it. They're pulling this tendon together wherever it's torn here. So it's pulling from this way to come back together, right? And it totally makes sense why it hurts right in here, because that's where the tear was, and that's where, you know, they had to fix things. And then the fact that my bicep hurts and my lower arm here hurts, well, yeah, okay. It all makes sense. I'm going to be like a new woman after this is done, right? So, you know, day 4, they'd started me on exercises, just those simple arm circle things, you know. Oh, but I came out yesterday with a whole sheet of exercises. Let me think. There's like, you got to do the crawl with your fingers across the table, slide, and then you have to start moving your arm out. They want you to move it out like this, but you do that with, like, I got a cane. Dale got me a cane, and you use the good hand to, like, push the bad arm out. Okay, so you push it out to the side. Sorry. And then you do some where you're going up like this, up like that. And then you hold the cane and you go up like this. I can't do that one. So none of these things hurt, but they're like hard. They're hard to do. I struggle with them. And you're using your good arm a lot to make the impaired arm do what it's supposed to do. It's very interesting. So I'm already doing several exercises here at home. And then already got called from physical therapy. And at like week 4, which is 2 more weeks, I go in and I start actual physical therapy. Oh boy. Sorry, had to have a little drink, you know. So in the sling for 5 weeks, but at home I tend to take it out, and they're fine with that. The sling is really a precaution to make sure you don't use it in a way you're not supposed to, like lifting things or grabbing things or flinging your arm around. So it's really a protection to keep you from doing that kind of stuff. And especially if you're out and about, it's really a security thing. And it also, like, lets people around know, hey, she's hurt. You know, so people around you will be more cautious around you. So, you know, taking it out of the sling is not that big a deal. I just leave it hang. I leave it, you know, like right now it's in the sling because it kind of gives me a little more support when I am going to crochet. And I just have my wrist on the table. But I will take it out. It cramps up, because if you don't move it enough, I get cramps all the way down to my wrist. I just got to take it out. So I am still doing just like Motrin and Tylenol to ease up any of the pain, and starting all these exercises twice a day. I've already done them once today. Dale took off this morning. He took his friend to an eye appointment. And it's interesting. The doctor is the guy who bought Dale's house. And so he knows him and helped his friend get an appointment and took him there. And not only did they go to the doctor's appointment, the eye appointment, they went and they got lunch. I'm like, really? He was gone for like 3.5 hours for an eye appointment. I'm like, okay. So I was up. I put a video together, edited, uploaded. I did my exercises. I watched some videos. And then I'm still in my pajamas at this point, right? I'm like, I need to get dressed. I just need to get dressed. But I'm not really good at like getting dressed on my own at this point. But guess what? I did it. I did it. I was able to take off my pajama top on my own, and I wanted to try a long sleeve shirt. I've been wearing just a short sleeve shirt, and then when you put your arm in this sling, it's horrible because it's against your skin, and there's all kinds of Velcro and stitching and pokey things, and it's just so we've been lining the sling with like a towel for comfort. And I thought, let me just try a long sleeve shirt and see if that helps. And it does. So I got dressed. I got a long sleeve shirt on. I got my pants on. I got dressed. And then I was like, can I put this sling on by myself? I did. I did it. I did it. I'm telling you. That was a proud moment for me. I changed my clothes completely and put the sling on and got ready for my day. Oh, and I also got my ice machine all set up. After I did my exercises, they say ice it for about 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, I got to put ice in the machine. So we have frozen ice bottles. I'm like, I got to go get these bottles out of the freezer, and I got to get them over there, and I got to get the other ones out. And it took me a minute, but I did that too. So I'm feeling pretty accomplished today, but my arm is also feeling quite tired. I will just say it's feeling quite tired. You're probably going to hear Dale now because he's coming out back with his tractor and plowing right out here behind us. So I didn't intend for this to be a super long whip and chat, just a little catch up to tell you how things are going. And hey, you know what? I am almost to the end of this row. One of these rows is 133 stitches. 133 stitches. And I'm pretty good at 133. I can get 133 done. If I start another row, I can't get that whole row done. I might get like halfway. And then I'm like, okay, I'm tired. Never mind. I'm tired. Can't do anymore. So physical therapy will be 4 to 6 weeks when it starts. Oh, there goes 2 deer running across the way over there. I know you can hear him. Sorry. So that will be 4 to 6 weeks of therapy when I start that in 2 weeks. And they say that it can be about 6 months before you're like back to full use and kind of back to normal. And at that point, you might just need to keep working on strengthening. You'll have your movement back, your motions back, things like that. It'll be pretty well healed. Oh, and people wanted to know, my friends wanted to know, I told them I wanted to go to the gym and walk on the treadmill, and they thought I was crazy. So I asked the doctor yesterday, actually Dale asked, because he knows I want to go. He's like, she wants to go to the gym and just walk on the treadmill. And he was like, the gym, treadmill, He goes, I suppose you can. I mean, you've got to wear the sling and you got to be really careful. And I'm like, I know. I'm going to go slow. I'm not going to run any races. I'm going to hold on with my good arm, my left arm. Going to hold on. Going to walk slow. I just need to get out and move. And right now, I feel safer on a treadmill than I do like walking outside, even walking to the car and stuff. I mean, it's wintertime and it's snowy and icy and it's slick and wet. And I feel safer, honestly, just slowly walking on the treadmill. And he's like, okay, as long as you're slow and you're careful. He said, because, if you fall and you catch yourself, if you trip and fall or slip and catch yourself with that arm, you will tear it back out. I said, understood. I get it. My other thought, when I was at the yarn store, the owner there, Lindsay, said, well, do they have bikes? Could you ride a bike? And I was like, Maybe I'll go ride a bike. I got to do something. I can't just sit here and do nothing and just vegetate here for weeks and weeks. I can't. It will drive you absolutely insane. If you're a person like me, anyhow, who's used to going and doing and stuff, it will drive you absolutely bonkers. I've got to do something. So we're going to try it. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, so here's a TMI. Here's a TMI for everybody. When your shoulders hurt, what don't you want to wear? What don't you want pushing down on the top of your shoulder? Think about it. I'm sure you figured it out. Bras. You don't want a bra, right? So I'm like, I have to do something if I'm going to the gym. Have to do something. I don't think I'm ready for like my regular bra yet. But we went and we found just like a real stretchy kind of, more than a camisole thing, but I don't know. It had really wide straps and they were really loose. There's no adjustment on the straps. There's no buckles. There's no nothing. Just a nice smooth strap. I think I have to try it tomorrow. I think I have to try it. See if it works. I mean, I've put it on, or well, we've put it on together because I certainly cannot get into that tight, stretchy thing on my own. I've had it on. We'll see how it goes. I have to have something. I can't, when I go out in public now, I'm like, I've got a shirt on, but then I put this like flannel shirt on over it and I button it here so everything's kind of covered, That's how I get away with going in public currently. But going to the gym, that'd be a whole different thing. We'll see. We shall see how it goes, right? We shall see. So I'll let you know further what happened if we went on Wednesday, how it went if we did. I mean, there's so many things. Like Dale's going to have to help me with my shoes. I'm not going to be able to tie my shoes. There's just so many things that I'm going to need help with. Okay, I made it to the end of the row. And you know what? I need my next color yarn right now because it's time to do 2 rows with the next color. Because it does 5 rows of the main color and then 2 rows of the next color, 2 rows of the main color. It kind of, did you follow what I mean? 5 rows of the main color, 2 rows of the new color, then 2 more rows of the main color, and then you switch over to 5 rows of the new color. It alternates like that. So you can kind of see the pink. See the pink in there? And then there's 2 rows of blue in between the pinks. That's what it does. It's harder to tell up here in the darker blue sections that it's doing that. But you can definitely tell in that pink section. See the blue in between? Yeah, there's 2 rows of the next color mixed in there. So I got to get my next color before I can move on. So this sounds like a good place to stop. And that's all I had to say, really. So wish me luck. And it's going okay. You learn when you've done enough. I don't want to do too much. When to stop, when to slow down, when to take it easy, when to take a break, when to just go rest and vegetate on the couch and just watch videos or something. Yeah. Oh, man, I got to do my book live here in a little bit. I better get going and go schedule that because it's like 5:45. Hopefully Brandy's ready. So let me go do that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. See ya in a little bit. Bye, everybody.